Good evening, my friend. I am Lou Mangello. I am so happy to see you tonight. Thank you for being here for WDW Radio Live. If you're watching live, again, thanks for being here. Sit back, relax, tag and invite a friend in the comments. If you're watching on the replay, don't forget to join us here every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern at WDW Radio Live. I'm obviously back in the home studio. I appreciate everybody who tuned in last week. Had a lot of fun renting the golf cart and driving through Fort Wilderness Campground to see all of the Halloween decorations and some of the really incredibly creative displays that a lot of the campers set up for free for guests to enjoy, really adding on to everything that Disney was doing. But as you know, the 31st is Halloween, November 1st is Christmas, and we have very quickly switched over to Christmas at Walt Disney World. We'll start getting into the holiday spirit very soon, but a lot of fun stuff to cover tonight. I want to talk about this week's show and some of the things, some of our favorite quiet places in Walt Disney World. We'll get back to our Disney Plus pick of the week, and I still haven't decided what the pick of the week is going to be. I'm going to toss up right before I announce it and figure out what it's going to be. I'll have a little tease of something else that's coming next week. You're going to definitely want to be here for that. And who knows, maybe we'll play some 20 questions, take some of your calls, answer your questions, and talk about anything that you like because, of course, it is my favorite night of the week. Let's get right into first this past week's show. Thank you for tuning in and for commenting about some of your favorite quiet spots in Walt Disney World. This one, it's funny. I went back and I had to do a little research to make sure I hadn't covered it in the past, and I was surprised that I didn't, because I think the quiet spots is, especially for me, such an important part of my visits to Walt Disney World. A lot of times when I'm going, it's to do just that. I'm doing a little bit of work, maybe some research in between eating, and I do really make sure that I make the time to enjoy the park for the park. A good friend of mine, Glenn, who said this years ago, he said, Walt Disney World, has become our park as locals. It's the place that we go not as if we are tourists or vacationers, but it's the place we go as if it's our neighborhood park, to visit with friends, to wander around, and sometimes finding those quiet places to relax is really important. Sometimes a little bit more difficult, which is also why I did it too. So I want to know what your favorite quiet spot in Walt Disney World is. Don't keep it a secret. If it's one that we missed, let me know. I thought about it after I published the show. I almost went back and I was going to edit it in, but it would have been disingenuous. I forgot one other one in Disney's Animal Kingdom that I really like. Across from the Dawa Bar, inside the fort, there's a little seating area, and if you go all the way into the back, it's sort of like covered by the remnants of the broken down fort and these trellis vines, and it's really shady and it's quiet. There's the snack, I forget the name of the snack bar, on the opposite side of the wall. You could usually hear some music bleeding in, especially when there's live performers in Africa. Really like that spot a lot. It's a really nice place to get away. I've worked there before. I've had meetings there before. But I want to know what some of your favorites are as well. Let's see. Does the Carousel of Progress count as a quiet spot? I guess it's all relative, depending on what your definition of quiet is. Paulette and Sam, nice to see you again. It was great to see you last week. Really good Mexican food too, but that's, besides the point. And it was not a quiet place, but it was fun nonetheless. Zach Brown from the Zach Brown Show. Go find him on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Really good guy, doing amazing stuff. I wish I had a graphic, but I don't. It's the Zach Brown Show. The beach at the Yacht and Beach Club. There's actually a number of different places in both Yacht and Beach Club. I think we mentioned 2 or 3. The Solarium is my favorite there. Matthew Suriola says there's a bench between Asia and Dino Land right by a bathroom that's on a small little path. So in between Asia and Dino Land. So I'm sort of walking the path mentally with you, trying to figure out exactly where it is. Carlos Eduardo Silva from Punto Orlando and PuntoMiami.com says, my favorite spot is the pathway between Pandora and Harambe. So I know exactly the path that you are referring to, and there's that building there that has a beautiful view of the river, and across the river over at the bridge and the fortress, sort of where the Festival of the Lion King theater is. Really, really nice. That really nice one there too. I don't know if there's any places to sit over there, but I actually have been there for a private party one night, which was a private breakfast one morning, which was really, really nice. The deck of the boathouse absolutely counts, Derek Pellerin, and this is the time, this is the best time to go and enjoy the outdoor quiet spots. And I'm not saying that I was at the boathouse last night and it was beautiful and especially quiet, but I was at the boathouse. Never mind. Carrie's Ray says there's so many quiet hidden spaces at Animal Kingdom that I love. You can almost do a top 10 of the quiet spots in that park alone. And that's one of the reasons why I love it so much. Joe Carey says my hotel room is my favorite quiet place. I disqualified that because we couldn't all pile into your hotel room. Or maybe we could. I don't know. I just made it weird. Sorry. The boat ride from Port Orleans to Disney Springs. So, Mark, riding along the Sassagoula is a great way, especially because those boats are not usually super crowded. There's been times that I've had them completely alone. Chris Reynolds, the balcony at the Enchanted Rose, which I've actually not been to since they have done the I've only been to Enchanted Rose one time, which I need to fix. Stat. I love hanging out in the France Pavilion. So where specifically in France do you like it? Are you by the water? Are you in back by the Boulangerie Patisserie? Which sometimes can get noisy inside, but if you get one of those little tables and chairs outside, it's really nice. Stephen Schmidt, I absolutely agree. I left the gondolas off, and that was a mistake on my part because I agree 100%. The gondolas, especially now when, because of physical distancing, you will often have a gondola all to yourself. The gondola is absolutely it's one that should have been very high on the list, and I was remiss not to put it there. David Dossie said there used to be a bench on the bridge of Hourglass Lake, probably not there anymore because of the Skyliner station. Amber Bramble says, compared to my crazy life, even the security line is serene to me. Again, it's all relative. Discovery Trail, Steve, I agree, especially if you wind your way in very close to the Tree of Life, and I find that I call it the hidden waterfall because there's usually never anybody there. Amanda, I agree with you, and I think it was the only one on my list from Animal Kingdom, the on the water and the Flame Tree Barbecue seating area. Even better when you have a little bit of Flame Tree Barbecue with you. The benches by the Space Mountain bathrooms near Carousel of Progress. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Where now you can sort of get a peek. It's actually really nice and quiet there. Although there's a rumor that there's going to be a new stage show coming to the Tomorrowland Palace Theater show thing. The hammocks at Caribbean Beach Resort. Gretchen, any of the hammocks there. There's some really nice ones at Old Key West. The Polynesian has some as well. There's actually why do I forget these things while I'm recording? At the Polynesian Beach, there is a swing just near the walkway to the dock, which is really nice, especially at sunset. In case you can't tell, sunset is my favorite. I'm a hopeless romantic, and sunset is my favorite time of the day. Derek just says mac and cheese. It is. Mac and cheese can be quiet. If you haven't had mac and cheese at the boathouse with the shrimp and then you add on the lobster on top, you don't know what you're missing. The walkway between Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, between the train tracks. Rich, even more so years ago, but when it used to be before Storybook Circus was Storybook Circus, and it was Mickey's Toontown Fair, nobody ever went on that walkway. If you're a photographer, it's a great place to get a really nice view when the train is running of it as it passes by. Valerie, again, walkway around the Tree of Life, the rocking chairs outside of any resort. Amanda Bonner says we need to go. I don't know where you're talking about, but I'm in. Because the chances are you're talking about food, and Amanda Bonner, as you know, is from Disney Travel for All. And if you haven't checked out Disney Travel for All, what are you doing? Get over there. Wait, there it is. Oh, gosh. Bad Lou. There it is, DisneyTravelForAll.com. So, Jim Rohowski, Spot and Springs behind the Yo-Yo kiosk, some tables looking out over the water. So is the Yo-Yo kiosk still by Paddlefish? Because I know it's moved around a couple times. And there's a walkway in between Paddlefish and BB Wolf's. There's the walkway that takes you over to Rainforest Cafe that has this little sort of outcropping that for a time used to have tables and then benches, and there were some covered tables, and then sometimes there's nothing there. When there are benches there, it's a really, really nice place to sit back and relax. Christine Morrison, again, rocking chairs by the pool. Big fans of the rocking chairs, especially if you can find the ones in Liberty Square on the backside of Hall of Presidents. There's only two, but when you can get to them, it's really, really nice. It's because of the way it's covered and the angle, it's usually shading there all the time. Chrissy says, I love sitting in the UK pavilion back where Christopher Robin's room is, where I haven't been to in a long time. But there's some really wonderful sort of little hidden gems in that back room there. Gabby Naldo's from Old Key West, a great place to sit back and relax because it's so quiet. There are so many little quiet places at Old Key West. It's one of the resorts that I feel, especially I think if you're a DVC member that owns there, you really feel like it's home because it has this very quaint and sort of old Florida and even old Disney feel to it as well. John Oliva says the outside on the second level of the Imagination Pavilion. Outside on the second level. Oh, is it good? Okay, so you're thinking about where the exit of the Magic Eye Theater was. Gosh, I haven't been up there in so long because there hasn't really been. I haven't really gone up to see the Pixar shorts since it opened. But you're right, where you have a view of the dancing fountains when the monorail running, the upside down waterfall. Really, really nice one. I didn't even think about that space. Kim Hazard says, the walk from Fort Wilderness to Wilderness Lodge, you lost me at the walk. If you would have said the golf cart, the scooter ride, the horse and buggy, I would have been in. But once you say walking, all of a sudden, I'm kidding. Steven Smith, the secondary pool at Riviera. I like both pools at Riviera, actually, because anytime I've been there, they haven't been very crowded. Kira says the balcony at Pinocchio's Village House. And Pinocchio's Village House, again, I haven't been there. Again, the COVID time, what's open and not open, but that is a really, really nice, it's a nice place, especially to get out of the hustle and bustle of fantasy. And by the way, please join me in congratulating Kira. She just started a brand spanking new podcast. It still has that new podcast smell called Joy is True Beauty. Please go and find it at joyistruebeauty. How do I not have a graphic for you? joyistruebeauty.com, and you can find them on find her on Apple Podcasts and Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you consume it. Again, just celebrating the people that find and create different ways to bring joy into our lives and make the lives of others better. If you want a really just a nice, feel-good podcast with a great message and mission behind it, joyistruebeauty.com. There you go. The outside patio at Cosmic Rays. Molly, I like it as well, too, if you don't mind hearing sometimes the rumble of the engines from the Tomorrowland Speedway, which I predict you are not going to be hearing for all that much longer. Timetable's a little bit askew because of COVID, but I think at some point those rumbles might go away. Just a little bit. Matt Shaw, Hunka Bunka Ballroom from Route 9 in Sayreville, New Jersey. Probably not. Angie Lane Robinson. That's my Hunka Bunka Ballroom impression. Anywhere at Fort Wilderness, the bridge between Rainforest and Lego Store. Stephen Smith's, a lot of great places in Disney Springs. Amanda Bonner, the golf cart at Fort Wilderness, just driving around, is my favorite thing to do there. We did it for Halloween. I promise you I'm going to do it again as we start getting closer to Christmas, because if you dug Halloween, Christmas says hold my eggnog or a hot toddy or whatever you're supposed to be holding, but Christmas is amazing at the fort. And I have a feeling this year may even be more so, because people are, they seem to there's this amazing feeling when they get coming back to Walt Disney World, and the spirit of the holidays is even heightened. I had a friend who came back to Walt Disney World and Magic Kingdom for the first time today, and it was really interesting to watch her reaction on social to being back in that park, as somebody who spent a lot of time here, years here, as a cast member, and then seeing her going back and reacting and appreciating, I think as we all have who've gone back, appreciating Walt Disney World, not just for what it is, but for what the cast members are doing, and just that appreciation of the feeling and the ability to be back here again. It's going to be even heightened in Christmas. Suzanne, the hidden nooks in the back of the Morocco Pavilion. So what you do is you go into the back of Tangerine Cafe, you get a little tea, with or without a little bit of juice in there, and you get yourself maybe a little baklava, a little sweet treat, and you sit. There's a number of, they're not big, they're small 2 or 4 person tables, both in that little alcove, as well as there's a couple on the streets themselves. If you sort of go out the back of Tangerine Cafe, that are really, really nice, and there's usually not a line to get there as well. Elliot Frost, my friend, how you doing, brother? Stay tuned. Stay tuned, my friend. The gazebo along the Sassagoula at Port Orleans. I think Port Orleans French Quarter itself is one of the most relaxing and quiet resorts. One of my favorite resorts on property, moderate, deluxe, all-inclusive, especially because it is so small and quiet. Beatrice Ennis says the Animal Kingdom Lodge observation decks in a rocking chair, preferably not in mid-August, but I'm with you 100%. Swiss Family Treehouse during a parade. Christine, I agree with you, but oy vey, that walk up there. But it is, especially if you can go like in the fall, like a night like tonight, if you could go at dusk and stand up there and just look out over Adventureland and into the hub and the castle in the distance, it's a really nice, beautiful, quiet view there. Unfortunately, you can't sit down, and there's guests coming in behind you, but it is a really nice, quiet place out of the way. The lounge chairs on the beach at the Contemporary, my favorite down, I think I know what you mean. My favorite down spot after a day in the parks. Lonnie Ballesteros, it's good to see you. Randy, I agree with you. How did I miss not mentioning the Skyliner gondola? Lisa Donato Glassner from the Castle Run and CoreMemoryCandles.com. I'm so excited to see the scents that you have for Christmas, which is a not so subtle way of saying I'm out of candles and I need candles for Christmas scents. The table behind the archway just past Tangerine Cafe, one of the quiet places in the park. I agree. It's not just a nice place to get out of the sun, but it's a nice place to have almost an overlooked nosh. I think that little tea and sweets bar in the back of Tangerine Cafe, because it doesn't really exist on a map, if you don't know it's there, you don't know it's there. But if you do, they have some really nice hot and cold beverages, and then again, a lot of the sort of, almost petit four style little sweet treats as well. My friend Kevin Shea says the outside table's Gasparilla Grill near the boats at the Grand Floridian. Great views with the food. Once again, sunset, dusk, really, really nice time, especially as the weather is starting to break for the 2 or 3 days that it's going to be cool here. Let's see. Zach Brown says, how much was the golf cart rental? Would love to do it with my family. So, Zach, I believe it was, I want to say it was $75. It was definitely a price increase from what it was before. It used to be around $50 or $59, but I believe it was $75. David says, the People Mover. Again, I don't think I mentioned the People Mover, probably because I missed the People Mover because it's been closed for such a long time. Let me look. Disney during the holidays, the small side street. So Anthony Hora at the small stride East Center Street on Main Street, where the Crystal Art Store is. Great place to sit and relax. And you get the parades, and you got Starbucks right around the corner. I really like that place a lot. A lot of love coming in for Port Orleans French Quarter. Beatrice also says the train station second level looking down Main Street toward the castle. I also agree. And sometimes there's benches there. Sometimes there's not. Right now that area is off limits because the train's not running, and they do use that for, I'll call that physically distant character encounters, where you'll see princesses, the Fab Five up there meeting and greeting guests from a responsibly distant distance. So Deb Clement agrees about Sleepy Hollow. John Moloney, the conference level at the Contemporary is quiet if no conferences are taking place. It is a great place to go if you need to take a call, if you need to work, and there's a lot of really, really comfortable couches, both at the top of the escalators or the bottom of the fourth floor escalators. But if you do walk back into the conference center, there's a number of really, really quiet spots. I mean, you'll have basically that entire wing or building almost to yourself, like you said, if there are no conferences going on. The DVC Lounge at the top of the Imagination Pavilion. I am not a member. I have been guests of members in the past. It is a very nice place to get away. Sometimes there's a little bit of a wait there, but it's nice. It's a great place to sort of recharge literally and figuratively. And Patricia Knapp, I agree, anywhere around Japan is one of my favorites. And who knows? Japan might actually come up in tonight's conversation. We like to eat lunch on the People Mover. Kenny, you're not supposed to do that. I'm not saying that I may or may not have snuck a popcorn on there once or 20 times, but I may have snuck up, but you know what I'm saying. Colin Kendall from Guide the number 4, WDW says there's a nice little spot behind the fort on Tom Sawyer facing Big Thunder Mountain. So you're right. If you walk sort of around the fort, I don't know if there's places, is there a bench there, or can you just, I'm not sure. I don't remember if there's a bench there or not. And I just realized as I was stalling, yes, I do. There you go. I tried to make sure I had it all pre-populated. That's Colin Kendall right there. Cute kid, smart guy, great photographer, by the way. If you want some really beautiful photographic prints of the castle and other areas around Walt Disney World, go check out Colin's shop. Popcorn of the People Mover is a must-do. Again, technically not allowed, but why not? Sitting by it, not on a fireplace, but by a fireplace in the upper level of Wilderness Lodge. The rocking chairs and the boxes on Tom Sawyer. Aunt Polly, open up those doors. Serve your famous fried chicken and lemonade once again, because it has been way too long. And obviously, it always comes back to, that's the shirt, right? Has to come back to food because you wouldn't like me when I'm hangry. That's my secret cap. I'm always hangry. Not hangry, always hungry, for one reason or another. So once again, please do me a favor, share this episode out with your friends. Even if they're not your friends, share it out anyway. Invite them to listen to the show, comment, be part of the clubhouse, and share your favorite quiet spots in Walt Disney World. Speaking of the community and the family, I want to say quick thanks, by the way, to everybody who was part of the Nation family, including some new and longtime members like Mike Queen, Chris Dolciato, Gary Witt, John Canoro, Marie Nicholson, and Don Nicholson, and my buddy, longtime friend, Josh Olive. You can support the show, help the Dream Team Project and Make-A-Wish Foundation by going to www.radionation.com for as little as $1 a month. There you go. And I have some new rewards coming very, very soon. There's a lot of things I'm juggling all at the same time that I'm trying to roll out to you. And one of them, I could tease it right now if I really want, like before we get into the top 5 live, and before we get into the Disney Plus pick of the week, like, should I just say that something is coming? Should I just leave it at that and maybe just tell people that something is coming and then not really tell them anything more? Because I did this once. I've done this before. And then, I always have something to reveal. I will only say this. There is something that's been on the whiteboard for a long period of time that just came off. All right, maybe I'll tell them. All right, I'll tell you. All right, so, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I will tell you that I'm going to let you know what it is next week. So on next week's show, November 11th, right here at WDW Radio Live, I will not only tell you, but I will show you. This is where, it's the dramatic pause. You're supposed to be, oh, come on. Like, listeners will, come on, man. Tell us now. I could, theoretically I could, but I couldn't. I will tell you this. I planned on telling you tonight, but life got in the way, and I was unavoidably distracted and detained elsewhere, and I was not able to finish doing something that I wanted to do, but I promise you, I will reveal it to you next week. So now you gotta come back. This is really just basically me bribing you, begging you, tricking you to come back each and every week. So I could give it away, because I could, it's right here. Like, the thing that I could show you is right there. Like, literally, right there. But I can't, because if I'm going to do it, I want to do it as right-ish as possible. So, right, Kira, cue the dramatic music. If I was better prepared, I would have had dramatic music to cue, but I don't. So, but you know what? So tomorrow, speaking of the nation, so tomorrow we have, so as part of the WDW Radio Nation, every month, except when I'm, when I lose track of time and have deaths in the family, things, every month we do a WDW Radio group call on Zoom, and we actually have one scheduled for tomorrow night, maybe tomorrow, for those of you in the nation who are going to be on the call. Maybe I'll give you a sneak peek. If you promise not to say anything, I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek. Because I will tell you that if you are a member of the nation at a certain level and above, this absolutely affects you. In a good way. Not it's in a good way, I promise. So if you're on the call tomorrow night, maybe I will share it with you. So maybe I'll share it with you guys first. There you go. We'll see. So there you go. So there is a little bit of a mean tease, but it's all in good fun. It is all in good fun, by the way. So, all right, let's move on. So, because I'm sure you guys have other things that you want and need to do, like going to listen to all these other podcasts from friends and going to their blogs and watching their videos and buying their prints and candles and stuff. So let's move from here to, why not? Let's go to the Disney Plus. Oh no, wait, so totally unprepared. Wait a minute. All right, whatever. Let's go to the Disney Plus pick of the week, which is not Treasure Planet, because we've talked about Treasure Planet in the past. We will, let's just sort of move this to the side here. I believe we talked about Treasure Planet. I don't think we talked about Hocus Pocus, only because last week we were on the golf cart in Fort Wilderness, but a lot of you were talking about Hocus Pocus. Some of you, Hocus Pocus being your favorite Halloween movie. And I think it's official now that they announced that they're working on a Hocus Pocus 2. I didn't see there was some type of Hocus Pocus reunion special thing that I missed just because life got in the way, but supposedly Hocus Pocus 2 is a thing. Kenyon says, I think candles will be a nice holiday gift. What? Where do I go? Well, happy that you asked, and I'm stalling for time so I can find this and share corememorycandles.com. Lisa Donato Glassner is the proprietor of the Core Memory Candles and the chief mixologist over there. And there's all kinds of new scents and melts and all sort of stuff like that going on. So you can go check it out. And I think she's got some new fall scents that are out too. If I had some, I'd be able to speak to them a little bit more, but I have nothing. I've got nothing left. So this is how I get my friends to like give me stuff. So there you go. Where is Becky? She has questions about the movie to answer. Yeah, so I know Becky told me she was going to be late tonight. I can also speak for. Wait a minute. I can literally speak for Becky and tell you that she did not do. What's wrong with your mouth, Becky? No, I'm not going to answer that. She can admit that she did not do the homework last week. She's ashamed. She is embarrassed, but she did not watch Hocus Pocus. So there you go. Mike says they smell great. I am burning poison apple now. I bought Rome burning and orange blossom. Yeah, I have none of those. I have none of those in the room to show you. And I will say that I am a candle guy. Like, I'm totally cool with admitting that I dig candles. So I don't even know where I was. What was I talking about? Oh, the Disney Plus pick of the week. Yeah, so your homework was to watch Hocus Pocus last week, and we did talk about it a little bit as I was on the golf cart adventure. Patricia Knapp, don't say that, poor girl. You clearly haven't met Becky in person. Dave Brookover says 4 years ago, this was the night before the New York cruise. Gosh, that's right. I forgot about that. That was a great cruise. It was New York to Puerto Rico, and then a number of us actually stayed in Puerto Rico for a few days afterward. So, Caleb Joshua Hill, I believe you, man, that you did your homework, and I appreciate you for doing that, brother. And Amanda Bonner, also known as the fifth Sanderson sister, the one that they really don't talk about. She's like the white sheep of the family. She says amok, amok, amok. Becky is the fourth Sanderson sister, as we know. Brittany says Hocus Pocus is a classic, super rewatchable, and I think it still holds up over time as well. Always with my Spider-Man mug and my cup of green tea to keep the caffeine afloat. Kira says we watched on Halloween. It's a perfect movie. Maybe that's, we've done some shows about Disney movies before. But maybe I need to do, are there sort of a top 10 list of near perfect? Somebody write this down and email it to me or messenger it to me, unless this is a really stupid idea. Top 10 near perfect Disney movies. Like I know already what's at the very top of that list, because there is a movie that I do believe is as close to perfect as Disney has gotten. That could even be a top 5, if not a top 10, because top 10 really means top 20, and I don't know if there's actually 20. So I know somebody did ask for a Mandalorian. Heather asked for Mandalorian to be next week's homework. So I haven't done Mandalorian as I thought about doing it because episode 1 was so good. It was so good. But I didn't do it because I'm thinking maybe we want to wait until all 8, I think there's 8 this season, all 8 episodes are out. And then maybe we'll have sort of either a watch or a rewatch of The Mandalorian and then talk about it. Because we can just talk about that each week. So Kenny, the WWE watch along party, I've been asked that a couple of times. I think I'm going to do that for the nation. I think for the nation at a certain level and above, I will figure out the logistics of doing a watch along party that does not violate any or many copyright laws. And maybe that's what we'll do. Somebody else write this down too and message. Maybe we'll do a nation pick of the week watch along. My schedule's a little wacky. It's a lot of wacky. I don't have a lot of free nights available, but maybe we'll try and figure out if we can do that. So, Michael going in, I'm not saying that yes, you're right or wrong, but you're right. The Santa Claus. I even like the Santa Claus 2 because there's a lost connection in the Santa Claus 2, which if you've seen both, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Timothy Olyphant is a treasure. I agree with you 100%. And if you've never watched a very non-Disney show on Netflix called The Santa Clarita Diet, that's my first encounter with him as an actor in a leading role. I really, really liked him in that. Carlos Bravo, again, coolest name in the box. How about a top 10 classic non-animated movies. Somebody write that down. I'll add it to the ever-growing list. Of course, I'll need help on that one because Tim will never be able to keep up because I don't think he's actually seen 10 movies. So for this week's pick of the week, I narrowed it down to 2. And we've done a few movies. We've done live action. We've done a bunch of animated over the past few weeks. We've done 20,000 Leagues. We've done Treasure Planet. We've done Roger Rabbit. What else? We've done Hocus Pocus. We've done Howard. We have done, oh gosh, I don't remember that. We've done Pinocchio, Black Hole, a few others. So now I narrowed it down to 2. And one is, I believe, the second best documentary style film on Disney Plus next to the Imagineering story. And the other is one that is a treat of nostalgia. I wish there was a way I could do a quick poll. So, quick poll. Do you want documentary or nostalgia? And I will. This is the least scientific poll ever. But unlike what's going on in the rest of the country, I will count all the ballots right now, and we will have a winner before the end. Lisa says, I didn't even hear what he said. Of course she didn't. I finally say something nice, and she's not even paying attention. It's the story of my life. Nostalgia, documentary. I knew this was going to happen. I'm going to get half and half, and then we're going to have to... What does the WDW Radio Electoral College say? Getting a lot of documentaries, and here come all the nostalgias. I think we did do... Liz, I think we did do Waking Sleeping Beauty already. I'm 81.4% sure that we did. So, Patricia, I will tell you, whatever I choose now, the other one will be for next week. I cannot get you, I could not burden you with 2. I will tell you that the documentary is also very nostalgic. All right, you know what? Because I think the documentary serves multiple masters, and I do believe that the documentary is also nostalgic as well, I will tell you to prepare yourself. Prepare yourself, because you are not only going to learn a lot, but if you have the same emotional connection to the principals, and by principals I mean the principal people, and the principals themselves. It's principal with the AL and principal with LE, both. If you do have an emotional connection to both, I promise you that you will be moved by this story. And I actually watched this. Did I do this one already? I don't think I did. Maybe I did. I really should have kept a running list, which I haven't. Again, spinning lots of plates all over the place. It doesn't really matter. Oh, wait, Carlos just said if you do Walt and El Grupo, I'll provide cheese bread. Forget everything I said. It's Walt and El Grupo this weekend. It's not, but I think it will be. Saved by the Bell is not. Is it on Disney Plus? No, it's not. A write-in vote for DuckTales. I have never seen DuckTales. I have never seen a second of DuckTales ever. Maybe I have to put that on the list. Somebody write that down. I have to put DuckTales, at least DuckTales the movie, on the list because I've never seen it. I've never seen a second to DuckTales. So, but drum roll, please, because I don't have actual drum roll music. Oh, prop culture was one. We did do prop culture. This week's Disney Plus. Here is my pick of the week. When you see it, you're going to know why. I love this story. I love this man, not just for who he is and what he's done, but I love that I can honestly, and I will tell you, like, even if I'm friends with somebody, sometimes I'm hesitant to say this person's a friend because I feel like I'm speaking for them. Like, maybe I'm not really a friend, Lou. Maybe I just want a free mug. But I do consider this person a friend. I actually spoke to him and his wife not too long ago, and I want to do this now before it's too late, and that's why this week's pick of the week, my pick of the week, because I love and appreciate this man for so many reasons. It is a story. It is he is a man who is practically perfect in every way. I didn't know his brother, but you know them as the boys. The boys are the story of the Sherman brothers. I have watched this probably 4 or 5 times, and I will be so embarrassed if this actually was a pick of the week once before and I just completely forgot about it. But I love this documentary so much. If you've never seen it before, it is really, really well done. I have spoken to Richard and his wife sort of offline in private about this story, where it sits in the realm of accuracy and completeness. And yes, while there are some, slight little bits of maybe creative and poetic licensing in here, it is remarkably good story, and will give you a better appreciation not just of the process but of the people behind it. And if you love Richard Sherman as much as I do, which I'm telling you is saying a lot because I love that man for a lot of different reasons, you are really going to have a better appreciation of just what he and his brother have done. Kira has not seen this yet. Kira, you want some true beauteous joy? Go and watch The Boys. You are going to love it, and I'm telling you, bring a snack and bring tissues, especially if, like you said, that music means something to you. Mr. Sherman was kind enough to pose with a picture of me and, my family on a DVC cruise. A lot of people have seen this already. Some of you have not. Fred Ailey from GetMeCoding.com. If your kids want to learn how to code and Fred will guarantee your children will make billions of dollars in the video game industry if they follow his Get Me Coding. Okay, maybe that's a bit of a stretch. I'm not his lawyer or his marketing person, but you understand. If your kid's interested in coding, Fred has lots of free resources that will get your children to start doing more than playing Fortnite and Destiny and Farmville. I don't even know what they're playing anymore. Whatever. Jumpman 2020, whatever. GetMeCoding.com. But Fred, I don't even know what your comment was, but I agree with it. And DuckTales will be on the list too. But this week, it is my Disney Plus pick of the week is The Boys, a Sherman Brothers story. If you have a suggestion for a future pick of the week, you could message me on Facebook. Better yet, post it in the clubhouse. Let me know what you think, and I will definitely add it to the list because there's a lot of really, really good stuff for us to select over on Disney Plus. So there you go. Patricia says, I bet Carlos can't watch this movie. Why? Will he cry? I do. Listen, I know what's coming, and I cry anyway, and it doesn't really matter. I am totally cool with me admitting that I cry. I'm in touch enough with my feelings. So, Jody Cole just watched it. Father Christopher says, of all the events you've done, towards the top, if not the top of events I wish I could have been on was the cruise with Richard Sherman. Father Christopher, I don't want to pour salt in the wound, but it is, for a lot of reasons, it is 4 days on that ship with him is a time I will never forget. Not just because of the time I got to spend with him, the concert that he put on, but just personal memories of standing on that stage with him standing on that stage was me and 2 or 3 of my friends, and Becky was there. And it was almost this, dramatic single spotlight on him and a piano as he was just warming up and practicing. And I sort of just looked over and I was like, can you believe where we are and what we're hearing? And then watching the faces and hearing the comments of our guests who were treated to that private concert by Richard in the Walt Disney Theater, time he spent with my family, memories that he created for my children that I will never, ever forget. So there you go. So that's our Disney Plus pick of the week. So next week, you got some homework to do. We got the pick of the week. And then, of course, don't forget about the reveal, which I'm going to keep on mentioning just to continue to make you get crazy that I'm not telling you anything unless you're on the Nation Call tomorrow, where I might give you a hint. I will probably give you a hint tomorrow on the Nation Call. We'll see. Depends on how hungry I am. So, Tina Cairo, it was amazing. And of all the experiences I've had in the nearly almost 16 years of doing this show, if I was to do a top 5, wow, somebody write this down. If you care, maybe you don't. Maybe this is just for me. My top 5 personal experiences since I started doing the show, I could tell you that one would be on the list. So, Jamie Smith Pate says, we met you in the parks many years ago in Adventureland. You were so nice to us. We love you, Lou. Oh, yes. Oh, Jamie, thank you so much. I really am a nice guy. I swear, all the time. I try. Anyway, Father Christopher, there is a Nation Call. If you didn't get the message from Patreon, please check your Patreon messages or let me know. I certainly wouldn't want you to miss that. So the closest you'll ever get to Walt, spending some time with Mr. Sherman is incredible. 1 degree of separation. Yeah, it is. And that's a big part of it. To be able to talk to somebody and ask questions and have him share his own personal memories of conversations with Walt that were either personal and intimate ones that he had or were about some of the things that we still get to enjoy. You know, how an idea for a song, for an attraction or a film, the genesis of it and Walt's input on it is just remarkable. So talking to Julie Andrews, very, very high on the list. First dinner at Boathouse, definitely, without it, that'll be up there too. So first meal, my last meal there, whatever it might be. Boathouse could be on the list too. So there you go. So there's our Disney Plus pick of the week. And speaking of Boathouse, you see how I'm trying to transition from one to the other? We'll call it the bridge. We're going to move from our Disney Plus pick of the week to my top 5 live, insert dramatic or not so dramatic music here. So in this week's Top 5 Live, I was thinking about where we are in Walt Disney World in terms of COVID and the pandemic and things opening up and this slow progression towards whatever the next level of normalcy is going to be. And I was having a conversation with someone last night specifically about that, and we were talking about some things that they're just not back yet. They're just not back in Walt Disney. Look, Walt Disney World is still a different place in that, you know, we take for granted sometimes the things that we can do and the places that we can go. And the things that we can, oh no, don't give it away, Mangello. And the things that we can experience stop it. I keep ruining it all the time. The things that we can experience while we're here. And as we were having this conversation, obviously it turned to food and it was like, no, that restaurant's not open yet. This restaurant's not open yet. So rather than just talking about the things that I miss in Walt Disney World, I'm going to talk about the top 5 restaurants I simply cannot wait to reopen. There's still a lot to see, a lot to do, and a lot to eat, and I think that is still now why is a great time to come to Walt Disney World. But there are some places and there are some favorites that are not open for one reason or another, and that I genuinely miss. And when they do open, I will be camped out as if it's the night before, infinity, where I'll be camped out in a tent in front of some of these locations because I just can't wait. Not to be king, but I cannot wait to get back in there. So, in no particular order other than 5 to 1, here are my top 5 restaurants I simply cannot wait to reopen once again. And number 5 is Trader Sam's Tiki Terrace. And this one was on the list. It was off the list. It bumped. It came back on. But it came back on not because I want to go back inside Trader Sam's, which I totally dig. It's a great environment. But I love this spot. I love sitting outside on a not so sweltering evening, and the waterfalls there in the background, and the lake and the lagoon and the dock is right there. There's live music playing. You can get not only items from the Trader Sam's menu, but you can also walk over to Captain Cook's and order from there and bring it over. It's really, really nice outside, and especially on some of the quieter nights, it's beautiful. And there's often a Hawaiian guitar like ukulele playing out there, and I just dig that combination of the live music and the lights and the umbrellas and the water. It's just beautiful. So it's not about getting the collectible mugs or even the very good cool sushi that they have in there. That's part of it. Trader Sam's is on the list. Coming in at number 4 behind Trader Sam's is, wait, I'm going to figure out how to do this. I swear it's my first time doing this. There you go. The River Roost Lounge. And you're like, Mangello, wait a minute. Like, you don't... So the River Roost Lounge is on this list for a couple of different reasons. So the River Roost Lounge is on it because not only do I love Port Orleans, but Yeehaw Bob is one of the biggest attractions and attractors. And look, River Roost Lounge actually has a great lounge menu, wonderful staff, but Yeehaw Bob needs no explanation as to why. So River Roost Lounge is on there because I dig the lounge. I dig the resort. So you go to boat rides, you have a nice dinner, you come into the lounge, you have second dinner, a cocktail or 7, you enjoy the night with Yeehaw Bob, with your friends, your family, your kids. I love Bob. I miss Bob. And this is also in honor of all the cast members, especially the entertainment cast members that are, I believe, I hope, I pray, temporarily laid off, but will be back. Nobody, I'm getting choked up. There is nobody that can fill that seat. There's nobody that can play that piano other than Yeehaw Bob. Our friends on Main Street USA, our friends on Hollywood Boulevard, the singers, the actors, the entertainers. I swear I know nothing, but I believe that business decisions had to be made. It gives them an opportunity to get other work. But I know that as these locations open up again, I believe they will be back. And World Showcase, entertainment, actors, I do believe he'll be back. And that's part of the, not just because I love River Roost, but I love Yeehaw Bob personally and professionally. But I also believe, and it's an honor to those cast members, that you will be back. By the way, Yeehaw Bob does a live show, I believe, every Saturday or every Sunday. I'm not sure. But go to his page on Facebook, and he always does a lot. Sunday nights. There you go. Sunday night. Thank you, Kelly Freeman. All right, so number 4 was River Roost Lounge. Coming in at number 3 is Boma. A lot of love going out to Boma. Breakfast, dinner, both. Why not? Boma, I dig you so. I actually prefer Boma for breakfast, and you hear me joke that Animal Kingdom Lodge is so far away. Boma is worth the drive, the ride, the bus, the scooter, the whatever it is. I love Boma breakfast so very much, and I love Boma dinner too. And this too is also a nod not just to Boma, but Boma, like River Roost, like Yeehaw Bob, Boma represents, I want to believe, I need to believe, I choose to believe that buffets will at some point, in some form or fashion, be back. Maybe for a while, we'll be served by a cast member, which is fine. I get it. I just don't want them to judge me, because usually, like, if I go to some place like Boma or like Cabanas on the cruise line, I take in an inordinate amount of food because I'm a growing boy and I just don't want any sort of funny looks. And I'm like, dude, just load on the corned beef hash and the quinoa. And like, just, yeah. So Boma is there for a reason, not just because I love it, but because I love and I miss buffets as well. Paulo, I'm thinking of you too. So, okay. So, number 1 was Trader Sam's. Number 5 was Trader Sam's. Number 4 was River Roost. Number 3 was Boma's. Number 2, Tangerine Cafe. Mangello, what are you, insane? How do you put Tangerine Cafe? I do put Tangerine Cafe because it's closed and I dig it. And I think Tangerine Cafe not only has some of the best food, it's one of the best counter service locations. It's one of the best overall values in terms of the amount and the quality of food that you get for the money. It's an easy and accessible place in Epcot, meaning sometimes when Epcot is crowded, usually you can do pretty well in terms of getting in, getting a seat, getting a table, including some of the ones we mentioned earlier in the back, whether it be in that little alcove behind the coffee bar or on the streets or even on the side. And not only is the food delicious, but being able to sit out on the promenade and just watch the world go by is wonderful. And I like getting the whole big shawarma combo platter because that's how I do it. So there you go. So that is number 3. Coming in at that was number 2. Number 1, there was no doubt in my little hungry heart of hearts that Takumi Te was number 1, 2, 3, and it could have been 4 and 5 on this list. Takumi Te, how do I miss thee? Let me count the ways. I have said in the past, look, you know of my affinity for Japan, the pavilion, Japan, the country, Japan, the pavilion, Japan, the breakfast cereal, Japan, the flamethrower. I love all things Japan, and I love Takumi Te. It is just, I honestly believe overall, soup to nuts, it is the best dining experience on property. And Victoria and Albert are sitting here looking at me going, Mangello, have you not? Yes, I remember the remarkable meal that I had there last year. I won't say the person by name, but one of you in the clubhouse invited me to an incredible, like, amazing 5.5, 6 hour meal. We did it right at Victoria and Albert's. But I think V&A is a dress up special occasion kind of thing where Takumi Te, you can go to and go back and still have, I've been there twice. I had completely different experiences both times that I went. The theming, the location, the service is much like you will often get in Japan itself. The service is not only exceptional, really. It's exceptional, but it's almost a performance in and of itself. And Takumi Te, far and away, is like day one when it opens, I will be there. If only I could find anybody that would want to go with me. I'm sure I can find somebody online. I'm sure I can go to like one of those dating sites and get somebody who wants to come with me to Takumi Te. But of course, we also have to have a little bit of a honorable mention as well. Yes, Columbia Harbor House. I'm looking at you. Columbia Harbor House in Magic Kingdom. I love, and the menu has changed a few times. I'm going to be curious to see what it's going to be like when it reopens. I think they have some unique quick service items there. And I also just love, and I mentioned it on the quiet spot, I love sitting upstairs on that second level, sort of over the breezeway in between Liberty Square and Fantasyland. Harambe Market in Disney's Animal Kingdom. I don't believe they have the curry sausage anymore, but I like the location. I like the theming. I like the story, and I like having those 4 different windows to go to with different items in it. Toledo, I have only been there for the grand opening and for immediate. I've never actually gone and had a full sit-down meal, so I'm waiting so I can go. Yeah, I threw Woody's Lunchbox on there, not just because I like the little breakfast pastry tart things, but I also really dig the excuse me, the little tachos, the like the pulled pork nacho tachos, whatever. Yeah, I dig it, like, and I'm totally fine with that. And yeah, and I just ran out of space. Every single buffet in Walt Disney World and everywhere else, I do. I dig it. I'm not like saying like a Cece's Pizza buffet. I don't really care about that. That's fine. Golden Corral, I don't need it. But every buffet in Walt Disney World, I'm looking at you. I'm waiting for you to come back. And I dig me some buffets. So I'm going to post this list in the clubhouse. I would love to know what you think of it, what I missed, why. Like, tell me, Mangello, you're crazy. You know what? You can even call the voicemail this week, 407-900-9391. I'll play it on the podcast. Say, Mangello, I was watching the top 5 live. I literally had to mute you like I always do and say, what are you doing, man? How did you not include Jico? Because I only had 5 spots. How did you not include Ohana? Because I only had 5 spots. They were ones that I considered. They did not make the list, but yeah, as I was going through the list in my mind and then sort of checking it against the Disney website, there's a lot more places that are closed than you might think or you might remember. And it's sad, like seeing temporarily closed, there was a little silent tear that sort of streaked down my face today. So yeah, I want to know, what is your restaurant that you cannot wait to reopen, whether it's on my list or not. And if it's not on my list, I will add it to my list because I'm incredibly hungry all the time. Jason Knapp says, sorry I'm late. Spidey senses went off about Takumi Tay, where I actually spent it's actually my first time I went to Takumi Tay was with one Jason Knapp. So yes, your Spidey senses did go off, and Jason Knapp, as you know, or maybe you don't know, maybe it doesn't matter, but Jason Knapp is from herewiththemagic.com, and you can go and not only see all of his cool, if you want to talk about quiet places and chill things to do, go check out his YouTube channel. And also he does a lunch break every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Eastern, which just happens to be lunchtime, and he'll take you to some spots around the world as well. So Jason says, I love that I was your first Takumi. Jason, they say you never forget your first time at Takumi Tay, and I won't. And it's all because of you. And this looks more like, I don't know what this looks like. This looks more like a sushi roll than it's supposed to be my heart. But there you go. Marla Chan, who I love. Somebody write this down. Top 5 reasons why I love Marla Chan. Bringing me chocolates is not on the list just because you're such a good person, but you missed Columbia Harbor House in this past visit. But we did a very nice breakfast at the Wave, which was nice. Jason was there too. Jason's everywhere. Deb Clement says, I love Raglan Road and I love me some homecoming. If you haven't done homecoming brunch yet, fly down here on the weekends and get in on some of that action, because that's a nice morning right there. Fred Abley says, Here with the Magic videos are amazing. What? Definitely check them out and bring snacks. You're right, but don't tell him I said that. So Stephanie Perry Bullock says, I finally had the grits at homecoming and they changed your life, didn't they? So, Anytime you see Lude, take him food and he will love you forever. Crystal Steers, every part about that sentence is 100% true. And at least I'm transparent about it. Bill Daniel is doing homecoming for Thanksgiving. That's nice. A nice little Southern style Thanksgiving meal. You know, somebody write that down. I need to do something like I've done a top 10 things that we're thankful for in Walt Disney World. I also did a show years ago. If somebody wants to look this up, I did it with her name just jumped out of my head. She was from All-Star Vacation Home. Sarah. I did it from Sarah. We talked about like Thanksgiving in Walt Disney World, but it was a different time. So maybe I need to do like a top 10 ways and places to spend Thanksgiving in Walt Disney World. Or maybe next week. No, better yet, top 5. Wait, write this down. Somebody. Top 5 places to have Thanksgiving dinner in Walt Disney World. Because a lot of places have special Thanksgiving menus, including the Boathouse. I'm just saying, Christine Kronowski is going to brunch at Homecoming this Sunday. Don't tell them Lou sent you, but it's so good. The Morimoto Burry Bop is delicious, where they actually take the meat and they sear it on the inside of the cast iron bowl, and they mix the rice in. Oh, God, it's so good. It is so, so good. So the WDW Radio tapeworm, I know. Derek, you would never believe, and I was telling a story the other night. When I was younger, I was so skinny. How skinny were you? I was so skinny, my parents used to bribe me to try and get me to eat. Like, we'll buy you a bicycle if you get to 65 pounds. Like, I was super skinny. I went to law school and I just blew up. Like, not figuratively. Like, literally, I blew up because all I did was study and eat Doritos. So, top 5 Thanksgiving meals. Maybe we'll do that next week. So, I should write it down, but I trust that somebody's going to write it down for me. I wonder what Lou's favorite on-property restaurant is. Beatrice Dennis has had Thanksgiving dinner at the Boathouse before. There you go. I would consider doing it, especially this year. Like, this year's Thanksgiving is going to be weird because, like, do you have people over? Do you not have people over? It's very strange. WDW Radio Thanksgiving live show, November 21st, 2012. 8 years ago. Gosh, that's crazy. Jim Rohosky, you are the best, brother. I owe you breakfast or lunch or something like that. We'll make it happen in the next week or so. Life has just been life. So there you go. So we talked about our favorite quiet spots in Walt Disney World more than once. I teased you just a little bit about something is coming, and I'm going to tell you what it is next week. And I promise you that next week won't be, oh, here's the next stage of the reveal, and it's coming next week, and it'll be here next week. November 11th, 7:30, whatever it is, you'll see it, and you will know, and I will reveal it to you next week. Maybe if you're on the Nation Call tomorrow, maybe I'll give you a hint. Maybe I'll give you a not-so-subtle hint, because membership does, in fact, have its privileges. So our Disney Plus pick of the week for next week is going to be The Boys, the Sherman Brothers story. Bring your tissues. Do not check your emotions at the door, because it is a very wonderful, beautiful, and emotional story, and we will talk about it next week. Some people are asking, what time is the Nation Call? I don't remember. It's 7:30, 8 o'clock, somewhere around there. Check your Patreon messages, and if you are at that level and you did not get the message, shoot me a message or an email, and I will make sure you get it. Sometimes Patreon can be wonky about getting those messages delivered. Donna Jenko, does Becky know the big secret? You're going to ask her. Not only does she not know the big secret, but she doesn't even know that there is a big secret. So she said she was going to be a little late. She's way late. So she doesn't know what the secret is, or that there even is going to be a secret revealed, which to my, joyfulness makes me really, really happy. So, so there you go. So that is everything going on. Oops, wrong one. That is everything going on this week. Oh, I didn't mean to put this up now, but I'm going to put it up now. If you have not tuned into my friends, Jason pops up again. Jason, Colin, and Carlos Eduardo Silva, they have the After Hours Let's Talk Disney show every Thursday at 9 o'clock. And this week I was invited, dare I say, roped in to the Mangello Challenge once again. Yikes. Tune in and you can find out and see exactly what happens. Don't forget, if you are not a member of the Clubhouse, if you're not watching in the Clubhouse, please make sure and join our Facebook group. Better yet, please go and help spread the word. Invite others to be part of the community, be part of the conversation, and really just be part of the fun. What else? You thought that I was getting down to the wire in my eBay auctions. I will tell you that having gone to my mom's house up in New Jersey, I found the trunk. And by the trunk, I mean I found the trunk from my childhood. I'm going to cry. I found the trunk that was in my bedroom since I was a little kid in Plainfield, New Jersey, and it's sort of where I kept all of my toys. And I forgot that I had some of these things in there. But I will tell you that some of the most collectible items in my personal collection are going to be up on eBay in the next week or two, including, I guess I can say what they are now. It doesn't matter. Including vintage mint on unpunched card Empire Strikes Back action figures, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker. There's about 10 other ones. I'm looking at you. Battlestar Galactica. I loved it as a kid. Daggett. Tiki from Buck Rogers. A lot of action figures, carded, unpunched, that are in really, really good unopened condition. Those will be going up on eBay in the next week or so, as well as some other collectibles from my childhood, as I try and minimize, as I try and purge, sort of letting go of some of the tangible things and holding on to the stuff that really matters for me, which are the memories. So, short Tiki. I loved Beady Tiki from. Who was the voice of Tiki from Buck Rogers in the 25th Century? Aaron Gray, I Still Have a Crush on You. Who was the voice of Tiki? So that is your question for this week. Let's see what else. Don't forget, if you want to join the WDW Radio Nation, not only help the show, but get exclusive rewards every month, starting as little as $1 a month, going to benefit the Dream Team Project. You can visit WDWRadioNation.com. If you're not tired of my voice, and I'm sure you are by now, but if for some reason you're not, you can still get all 7 of my virtual audio walking tours of the Magic Kingdom's history, secrets, and stories, all in binaural audio sound for just $10, as well as my 102 ways to save money for at Walt Disney World at the WDW Radio Shop. If you want to help the show, I know a lot of you guys ask this, it's easy. Just help spread the word by sharing out the video, the Clubhouse, the podcast. Super, super helpful. If you can rate and review the show in Apple Podcasts, subscribe and share in Spotify. Those are all helpful. Joining the nation. And again, if there's some way I can help you, just go and visit LouMangello.com. And most importantly, please, 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 do not just be the good, but choose the good. And I think now more than ever, it is really critical that we look for the good, we find the good in everything that we see or do. I know it has been a stressful time. It's going to continue to be a stressful time for obvious reasons, especially here in the States. No matter what happens, choose the good, be patient, be understanding, and remember that we are a united States of America. Again, least political dude on the planet. I respect the office no matter who sits in it. I just want everybody to get along and to choose the good and to be the good and let that be the thing that has the ripple effect to other people. And if there's some way that I can help you, that I can serve you, that I can thank you, please let me know. Oh, by the way, I just saw this. Don't forget to enter the trivia contest week. You can win a mug just like this. Not this one because it's been sitting on my desk. And that's it. A lot of fun stuff next week. Really excited for the reveal. This is something that's, I'm going to say too much. I'm excited for the reveal next week. I love you. I appreciate you. Choose the good and be the good. So until next time, see ya.